The City of Toronto is a sprawling urban metropolis, which serves as the capital city of Ontario. Toronto represents Canada as a diverse global village and was ranked by the United Nations Development Programme in 2016 as having the second highest rate of foreign-born populations. This makes Toronto one of the most livable cities in the world. But is it really? It is 2021, and the City of Toronto specifically has come under fire for having high levels of disparity in quality of life between primarily white neighborhoods and neighborhoods where visible minorities reside. A single act of discrimination, whether it be someone failing to attain a job, a loan, or housing, can have a significant ripple effect, which affects the socioeconomic status of visible minorities to a great extent. Another result of inequity found within the population would be food insecurity. It affects almost 1 in 5 Toronto households. This is largely a byproduct of inequity among neighborhoods. Essentially, the worse a family's socioeconomic status is, the more likely they are to be severely food insecure. And in Toronto, these families happen to disproportionately be visible minorities. In an effort to meaningfully make a difference and reduce inequalities in Toronto, our group provides the Neighborhood Equity Index within Equapolis. It aids in providing a broad quantitative assessment of well-being across the 140 neighborhoods in Toronto. The index is a tool aimed to support the advancement of equity solutions. It provides the user with a single number representing the total weight of unnecessary, unfair, and unjust differences impacting neighborhood residents in 5 key domains: economic opportunities, social development, healthy lives, participation in decision-making, and physical surroundings. This app was created as a tool to help residents, planners, key stakeholders, and decision makers identify disparities between Toronto neighborhoods by identifying areas with significant amounts of inequity and therefore a lack of resources needed to thrive. The tool supports cross-sector action planning at the local and institutional level. We hope for a city in the near future where everyone is equal. In Equapolis.
When the app is launched, a splash page appears that states the context and purpose behind Equapolis. Once users have read this, the splash page recommends that users click the I button to receive more information about the app's features. Click OK to exit the splash page and note the legend in the top left displaying the symbology on the map. Then click the I button in the top left corner. Here, there is a little more information about the data displayed. If more information is needed on the Neighborhood Equity Index, users are prompted to click this button here. Users can then scroll down and learn about each feature of the app. The first feature is Search by Neighborhood. Users can choose a specific neighborhood from the drop-down menu to display its equity information. The second feature is Compare Neighborhoods. Users can choose any of the equity indicators and compare between neighborhoods. Users can also choose whether they want to compare all neighborhoods or specify a spatial filter by using the Draw tool to compare just a few neighborhoods. The third feature is the Compare Layers feature. Users must first turn on the Visible Minorities layer in order to use this feature. This feature was created to visually compare the equity index and the concentration of visible minorities in each neighborhood. Users can swipe the bar to make this comparison. Because inequitable conditions disproportionately affect visible minorities, it is important to see the visual relationship between them. From this function, it is apparent that neighborhoods that have a higher visible minority population are facing higher inequity compared to areas with fewer visible minorities. The final feature is the Locate Nearby Food Banks. Users can efficiently locate nearby food banks by simply inputting an address or dropping a pin onto the map. The search radius is 5 kilometers by default, but this can be adjusted to the user's preference. All food banks within the search radius appear here, and users can click the one they want to display. Here, they can see their address, hours of operation, and phone numbers. The website is also linked so users can be directly taken to view more information. Users can also get walking or driving directions to a food bank by clicking the directions button. Low equity is indisputably linked to food insecurity among low-income communities. Food banks are underutilized by food insecure households, and part of this is simply not knowing that there are any nearby. Ultimately, the goal is to help the most vulnerable neighborhoods access the services that were created to support them. Through the multiple functions of this app, we hope to provide valuable information to the residents of Toronto and key decision makers to effectively support policies and strive for a more equitable city. An Aquapolis.
Thank you for listening.